Black Swan is it's a small company, and when we took over a certain project, it was very, very chaotic. There was no order anywhere in the project. So we started introducing very little data storage on Confluence, and slowly added more and more and more. So we later realized that basically what we did is we simply just did the job process, you know, like just planning what you want to store in the data, implementing the data on different Confluence pages, and then we were using it, and then we got feedback from our own self, and we just did this. We introduced this roughly 9 months ago, and in that period, we changed the content roughly 10 times. So basically monthly, we kind of reorganized how we store data, and then we added more and more and more, and now we have a very complex information system about our project. So just a little bit so you can understand who we are. Go to the next one. This is a very small company, kind of like a startup, 200 employees, 10 locations all over the globe. We are doing agency style, so this is the critical point in this whole presentation, is that we are doing a lot of projects that are very, very similar. We've been the fastest growing startup. Because of that, the chaos that goes in a company is, you can imagine that, you know, when in, you know, one day you win $1 million contract, and in, you know, 2-3 months you have to actually deliver, and you don't have the people for it, so you just suck other people from other projects and you start to develop and deliver. It's very, very chaotic, and in this chaos, how do you try to create some sort of organization around information? So that's the presentation. We have two major use cases for this one. We build in-flight entertainment portals for Panasonic, this stuff that you know, when you take your device to the airplane and you see a certain portal, you can watch videos and those kind of stuff. We build 50 of these for different airlines, Lufthansa, KT. All of these projects are basically cookie cutters. So, well, not really cookie cutters, but they're very, very similar to each other. One wants video, one wants something else, very, very similar. The other, which is also very similar to this, is a big data analytics solution. We have a platform where we kind of predict future in a short way. And all of these projects are, again, very, very similar to each other. The client has a certain information that we put it into our platform. We put some sort of analytics on it, and something comes out at the other end. So all of these are very similar, PepsiCo, all of these big ones. Now, so basically our issues with this whole thing was very rapidly you bring in new customers, and you have to do the same thing for every one of them. And originally, there were different documents all over the place. Data was duplicated in the different documents. A lot of information was not written down, so when people left, nobody knew how was, you know, that account, how that stood. What do you do with it? How do you hire somebody else that can actually follow up on those things? We had many multiple documents that contained the same information or similar information, but, you know, stored in different places. Data was out of sync between the documents. Data is not up to date. Who knows which one is the latest version? Different people use different software. Sometimes Excel went totally crazy because you loaded with a 2001, 2013 Mac Windows, and then you ended up with like an 8 megabyte Excel file with one tab in it. So it's just a total nightmare. So what we started doing is we looked at, can you go to next? So we started looking at Confluence page property and page property report macros. These are very, very flexible tools to organize information, simple information. So this is not like, oh, I'm going to build a master database and I'm going to write queries. Nothing like that. Very simple, very easy, digestible information. Basically, there are tables and there are key value pairs in them, and then you can query them. That's pretty much it. But you can go a little crazy on how you do this. And you can actually use the page templates. So you can create the page templates with already the page property macro on it, with the table in it, with the key value pairs filled out, and you simply create another page for another project. You fill out the values, and there you go. You have another project in the system, you can query them, and it shows up everywhere in the system. Let's go to the next one. When to use? When you have a lot of very similar projects, or at least those projects have some similarities between them, and then you want those similar information captured in a similar way. When information comes from multiple sources, in our case, we have project managers, business analysts, QA people, developers, integration people. All people are using the same pages. So basically, they just simply record the different information into the page, and then we can query different information out of those things. And everyone just basically edits one page, gets notified when something changed. If QA dropped in a new QA report, then the developer sees that what's the QA report and all of this. So basically, it's a very nice way to actually communicate together. And obviously, Confluence sends you notifications, so when somebody changes something, you do get information. And obviously, if you need some sort of aggregated report, you want to pull information together into some sort of report, it's a really good tool for it. We'll go to the next one. Come back. There you go. Okay. When each project is completely different, this is not going to help you in any way, because there's not going to be common information between the different pages. The different pages, you will not be able to create a query that has any meaningful information in it. When you have a really high number of pages, let's say that you have like 500 projects. You create 500 pages, and then later on you want to add one extra field, then you have to open every one of them, edit them, and add that one field. This is going to kill you. So if you have something like between 50, 70 projects, and you want to do this in an agile manner, that, oh, you know what, we have the 50 project, now I want to record, I don't know, the Git URL to it. Then you can just open every one of them, add one field, add the actual value for each project, and then later on you can query on that one. But if you have a very high number of projects or pages, this is going to be very difficult. So it's not going to be agile anymore. The page property report has one big limitation. It cannot filter based on the value. It can only filter, we can go through, it can filter on tags, it can filter on names, it can filter on who is mentioned on the page, all sorts of different things, like 7 different things. But it cannot look at the value. It looks at the value in the field and it says, okay, whatever, that's just text for me, and it just dumps it in the report. Same thing, you cannot do any kind of mathematical calculation on it, you cannot summarize, you cannot do anything with the data, it's just simply going to show up on the report. One other interesting thing, when you have a report on a page, if you subscribe to that page and you want to be notified when the content changes, if the report content changes, you do not get notification. So when, let's say that you change a page that changes the report, you will get a notification for the source page that it changed, but not the report page. Does it make any sense? We'll get to it, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And let's go to the demo. So we're gonna look at a very, very simple. We created 2 different demos. One is a very, very super simple one, just to show how this whole thing works. You have one template. In the template, you have these pre-created macros with tables and everything, and then you create different pages from it. Page 1, 2, 3. In this case, you label them in some way, whatever way you want them to be labeled, and then you can create reports from these pages. One criteria that is there, you have to have a label. The query cannot have, how do you say that? You cannot not have labels. You have to have labels. Oh, there you go. I think I said it. So, so you have to, if you don't care about labels because it doesn't matter to you, you just put whatever label on it, you put that label on the report, and then that's it. But later on, if you want, you can go really crazy with labels and label the different pages, and then that can help you separate the different pages and pull them into different reports. So let's look at John Doe's website.
So this is basically how it looks like. When you look at the page, it's nothing else than just a simple table, and you see that primary, project manager, backup PM, due date, whatever you want to put on this thing, and all of it's like a normal database table. And later on, you will be able to query this. Now, what you have to make sure is that the first column, these are basically the field names. They have to be the same on every page. If you make a typo on one, and then let's say the template has a typo on it, and you create 100 pages from it, there's no way to just, with one click, change the field name. You have to go through every freaking page and just change that one typo on it. So you really have to make sure that what you're doing is actually makes sense to you, and then you change all the pages, and then everything is going to work. You will be able to see if let's say that you on one page by mistake you mistype it or whatever, you will easily see it in the report that field is going to be blank and there's not going to be any value, so you can easily go back and change it. But this is a big limitation of the solution. And that's the label down there, just whatever label you put on it. On this page, I used the label A. Yeah, please edit it, yeah, let me see if we can see it. So how it looks like is the page property macro, and within that, there's the simple table. Now, you see that we use these table headers. I'll mention this. This is, again, one really stupid thing in this. If you put that as a table header, this whole thing is broken. Okay? So you cannot have it as a table header. You have to make it a normal cell. It cannot have a. If the entire table has at least one table header cell, you will not get any query reports back for whatever reason. There's some sort of bug in the system. Okay. So let's look at another page. Oh, wow. So let's go down and look at, let's say, that one. The second one, we'll quickly...
This is open in a new tab?
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, he doesn't speak Hungarian. Yeah, you can tell. So in this one, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that I labeled this label A and label B. And there are two specific sections. One is, oh my God, I've got to come back here. So that's label A, specific information, label B, specific information, and obviously in each page where I have these extra information, I label accordingly. Let's just jump to the report so we'll be able to see it quickly. Simple page, yeah. And here, let's open the OL. So here, this is just basically dumping. This is the page property report without any customization. It just simply pulls in everything that's there with whatever order all the fields are there, and then you can see that all the information is here. Okay, so let's open the second one, which is the label A, I believe. Now you can see that we only have 3 of them, not every one of those pages, because only those show up here that has the label A. Same thing for label, and here you can see now here that I only have title and the background color, which is specific to the label A type pages. Label B is the same thing, but I'm pulling in the other field, which is label B type specific. And then we have a PM allocation. Here I basically bring in everything, and I bring in the common fields from them. Not the specific one, but the common ones. So let's edit this page and let's look at the page report itself. Let's open the last one, the 4th one. It's the most interesting one. So here you can see that the label, basically I include all labels. Whoops. Yeah, that's fine, I think. So this shows that you have to have a label. You cannot use this query without any kind of label. You have to have it there. Other than that, you can, at this point, it's basically showing that from the current space, whatever page you find that are labeled with label A and label B, pull it into this query. So if I remove in this one, let's say label B, all of those pages are going to disappear. But I could add many different kind of filters. So click on the add filter, please. Scroll up and add filter. And here you can see that with ancestor of a certain page, created, creator, mentioning user, with parent of a certain page. You can go really crazy how you want to organize your pages, and based on that you can create whatever structure you want here. So label is only one way to actually organize the pages, but you can do a whole bunch of other things that really easy. And in the next demo, we'll show one of these examples. The other thing, what is interesting is here you can bring in columns to show. Basically, you can type in the exact same name what you have in the field, and that is going to bring in all the columns that you want to bring in into this report. And again, this is a really good way to, and obviously you can sort by, you can select how many you want to be shown on one page. If it's less, then it gives you a little bit of like a pager kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let's go to the more complex demo. And let's start that with the, can you open up the hierarchy? Sorry? Oh yeah, okay, sure, yeah. Let's show the template. Simple project, yeah, there you go. No, not create. Just cancel this. Let's go back to 3 dot, and then the bottom link.
You want to see?
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah. Just look at the template itself. And then, so the simple project template, you can simply edit it, and this is how it looks like. You can, these are, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with the templates or not. In templates, you can use these helper text, like please enter the name of the primary project manager. When they click on it, it disappears, and they can simply just type the name. And so it's really easy to create a really nice form for your colleagues. They create a page, they see this, they fill it out, and it's basically done. And now you have another page. You can pre-label them. You can pre-label the templates, so they right away they would have the right label. They would be included in the query. So let's go to the little more complex. So let's go just to see the hierarchy in this case. Hierarchy on the 3 dot on the left, on the right. Oh yeah, here that's good as well. So complex project, open that. And open up with one of them. So here you can see that we have the complex project as the placeholder. Underneath there we have the complex project opportunities, development, and then the archive. All of these projects are the same. They came from the same template, and they are grouped under certain pages. And in these reports, we are going to use not just the labels, but I think with the ancestor of a certain page, and based on that, it is going to bring in either the opportunities or in the development or in the archives ones. So let's just go to first the complex projects. Just click on the query. So this is what it's going to look like. Opportunities, it brings in only the projects that are in the opportunities. It's going to bring in only in what is in development, and then the rest is just, I simply just put here the child of whatever page, because I don't need information on the archive. So if you look at these pages, can you open the edit mode? And then here we will see the, just open the, yeah, that one. Here it says with parent complex project opportunity. So this is show that you don't just necessarily have to use the label. You can group them by something else. If I change this with parent to not the opportunities but to some other page, then it would bring all of those pages that are under that page, and then it would create the query based on that. Can you just change that from opportunities to something else? Let's say the development. It's there. No, just click on this one. Just delete it. Go back. Click on that. And right away, it shows that now it's bringing in the other pages in. So cancel that, please. Now, there's one extra trick here that, let's open project ABC. Let's go to the page. Because there's one trick in this whole thing. On this page, can you go edit? You'll see that I don't have just one page property, but two. So in the top one says ID PM, and the bottom says ID vendor. And both of these page properties have the value primary PM. If I don't specify the ID, and if you only have one table on page property on one page, you don't have to worry about the ID because it's just everything just going to come from that. But if you want to have these field names show up in a report specifically like that, you have two choices. One, you make this name really long, or you separate them into different page properties and separate them with IDs. So in this case, what I did is I created a page property with a PM and another with a vendor. Both of them has primary PM. And if you go back to the report page, just one more back, and scroll down to where did we show that? So the vendors, this one, actually bringing in the vendor information from those pages. And then the top one up there, go up there, these ones are bringing in the primary PM from the PM project, page property. So this way you can actually have the same name in the table, but you have to separate them with the separate page properties. And in the query, if you edit the page, you can show that, can you edit the page? You can show that in the page report, can you edit? The first one, yeah. And just show, and here it says page property ID PM. So here I can specify which page properties do I want to bring this information in from. Does it make sense? Okay, good. So this way I can have multiple page properties. I can select which one, where do I put the data in them. I can select them. The last thing what I wanted to show is if you go back to the complex example, yeah, if you scroll down to the bottom, we have an extra layer in it's called releases. This is just like a random something. All of these pages are sub-pages of the project pages. And all of these are created from templates and labeled with another whatever label. And on each page, we have in each. Let's go to the XYZ. Sorry, not this one. Yeah, let's go to that page. Let's show what's on it. So it's a very simple information, just like that. Nothing special in it. It is labeled with project release. Nothing special on it. We don't use the page property ID because there's nothing, no complex information. Go back one, please. And just go here and then find the parent page for that one. Project XYZ. If you scroll to the bottom of that, Project XYZ. Yep. Go to the Project XYZ. At the bottom, you will see, why is it not? Yeah. We brought in this query into the normal page. So there's, on the page, there's the page property with its own page properties, and separately, we brought in a query that queries the subpages from it. So you can really get creative, and you can build 2, 3 different layers in these queries. In our actual case, we have subpages for QA reports, releases, what else we have? ECSR, the final submissions. We have commercial information in 3 layers. So you can basically, from one project, for one project usually we have like 20 pages, subpages, and from that, all of those 20 pages, we create one page, and that contains every information and all historical information about that one project. Now, there's one very cool thing that is a new thing, and we are going to actually show that. This did not work until 1 week ago. You can actually nest these queries into each other. So you can, if you edit this page, no. Right now you can see at the bottom that, just scroll down to the bottom, that query, the releases are just simply brought in here. Now we're going to put that releases query into actually here in this field. Just add another field called, I don't know, release or something. And just copy paste that query into that the value field. Save it. Now we're going to go back to the complex pages report page. Now you can see that actually shows up here in the page property as well, right here. And if you go out to the report page, we'll add it to the report now, and that's going to be the nested query. Go back to the report page.
I am on the report page.
No, that's the property. That's the project X. Click on this. Yeah, here. This one, the 3 dot. Yeah, and the complex projects. That one, yeah. And then edit this page. And down at the vendor section, click on the vendors, edit, and then add to the fields section releases. And just save. And where is the save? Aye, aye.
That will be useful.
Make the page smaller with because it's zoomed in. There you go. Okay, now you can save. Save the normal page. So in the vendor section now we should see, if we find it somewhere. If you scroll, there you go. Now it's brought in as a release date, and then all of those are queried in. So this is how you can actually nest queries into each other, and you can go very deep. Up until 1 week ago, this did not work. So we wrote the presentation in a way that this is a limitation, that you cannot nest it. And when we were dry running it, it's like, oh, it works. So it was funny that, anyway. So, but if you're running your own Confluence, and it's a little older, then this is not going to work for you. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we could show, you know, like if you change something in a page, then on a report it shows up, but it's kind of obvious. So I think we're kind of up on time, right? So let's go back to the presentation, because there are a couple of more things left. Next one. Table header must not be used, so this is very important. Again, you're going to run into this issue and you're going to scratch your head why this is not working, why is it not giving you any information back. Just go to the page. If you see anything that is bold, click on the header, click one more time, and just make sure that it's not there. And then the real limitation of this, it can only aggregate information. So if you have these separate pages with information laid out, it can query them and can pull them together into a report. You cannot have a page that one page has information about all the different projects and somehow spread that out into different pages. You cannot use it for that one. It can only aggregate information. The Excel tab solution might work in that case. It's a very simple one. You'll upload one big Excel table with different tabs, and then with whatever macro, you just pull in one Excel sheet. Sorry, not sheet. What is it called? Sheet? Okay, sheet into the page, and this way you can actually spread the information. And I think that's it. Any question?
Pontosan hogyan vonatkoztatjátok az agilitást a megoldásra? Mármint, hogy a prezentáció címében ez is szerepelt.
A lényeg ennek az agilitásnak az, hogy ahogy használod az oldalakat, rá fogsz jönni arra, hogy hú, nekem még kéne még 3 információ, amit tehát ez gyakorlatilag ennek az egész folyamata, illetve gyakorlatilag tehát nem az agilis fejlesztés, ez egy kicsit furcsa volt, meg is lepődtem, amikor mondtad, az agilis fejlesztéshez ennek nem nagyon van köze, sokkal inkább az agilis információtárolás. Tehát, hogy nem az, hogy van egy 20 darab adatom, és ez nem tudok változtatni rajta semmit, hanem ezzel a módszerrel bármikor hozzatok még 2-t adni, vagy kiszedek belőle 3-at, már senkit nem érdekel. Tehát ettől agilis az információtárolás és menedzsment az agilis, nem a fejlesztés.
És akkor ennek megfelelően ezt zsírával vagy a fejlesztéssel nem is nagyon kötitek össze?
De például egy nagyon érdekes megoldás, amit most fejlesztettünk ki, az, hogy a release oldalaink, azok a what blueprint we are using?
We are using the Jira report, basically the release report.
Yeah, the release report, which basically you can say that which project, which fixed version from that project, and it generates a report for you. And we automatically tag that. We save it in a releases placeholder, and then we have a list of what kind of releases we had in a nice reportable manner. So there are some connection where we do Jira. Or you can actually have a Jira query in the page property as a value, and then when you pull it together, that query is going to run and pull in the information that you pull in from Jira. And in this way, you can create a cross-project report, if that makes sense. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you.